A great example of a sustainable initiative recently would be the Adidas Parley Ocean Plastic collection, where they employed a unique design language to create excitement around what could be a very boring supply chain initiative. Or in the UK, Vivo Barefoots released a knit wool collection where they highlight both the sustainability and comfort potential of wool materials to justify the higher price.
Recent talks that have been in the London Design Festival a lot has been done to push circular economy ways of working, where one designs out the waste and pollution from the start, making the longest use of those materials. That is a philosophy that I've definitely got, that we want longevity of design, we want wonderful style as opposed to transient fashion.
那么作为全球的最大的纺织生产国，或者是最大的服装市场，那么中国呢一直以来的话是积极在追求技术创新、可持续设计，而且已经取得了许多的积极成果。比如说在很多的大型的运动会，特别是像冬季的运动会当中，在很多的户外的品牌当中服装当中，对于面料都积极的推广使用可回收的材料。那么很多的服装可以做到80%甚至于100%的可回收。另外在滑雪类的服装当中，这些专项体育运动服当中，对于填充料的使用也积极采用了可降解的材料，进而减少那么对于环境的影响。特别是我们还通过了一些比如说纤维改性通过一些现代织物染色的方法技术的这种创新，更好的减少了那么从别的环节，比如说染色的环节，从其他的这种后整理的环节来减少对于环境，特别是材料对于环境的这种影响。同时我们也减少对我们自然环境当中天然材料的一些过度的使用和过度的这种开发，这样的话形成一个材料的设计的以及产品的体现的全方位的这么一个可持续的体现，从而从根本上能让我们更多的企业、更多的消费者去关注它，特别是通过一些制度的制定，那么和严格的实施，我想也就从我们的整个源头开始，就对我们的可持续进行了一些管控或者叫推广。
我们看到了更丰富和多元的内容在相互交织的一个趋势在中国发生，而中国实际上也将成为所有这些趋势的中心的，这是因为由我们的人口基数所决定的。中国一直是处在一个创新前端的创造性国家，因为我们是全球供应链的产业基地，这一点是毋庸置疑的。中国在可循环再生材料的使用上也占到了全球的首位，并且原生态的循环纱线可生产的厂家也越来越多。唯有从全端的技术上来实现可应用的循环纱线，才有后续一切的基础。同时中国也是拥有14亿人口的服装消费的大市场，那么在可循环经济中它的贡献的比重是非常大的。
Sustainable fashion today is a highly debated and increasingly covered topic in media and at industry seminars in China. More and more fashion companies are transforming their business models and improving their supply chain to reduce overall environmental impacts, improve social conditions in factories. We also see a growing awareness among consumers, especially younger generations. As garbage classification has been promoted gradually across the country, fashion industry in China has emphasis on recycling in the moment, and the recycled materials has been well accepted by consumers in China now. So from my observation, circular fashion will be a big trend in China in the near future. This requires the combination of new garment design strategies, sustainable material, advanced recycling technologies, alongside new service-oriented business models to create desirable, low-impact, and long-lasting garments in fashion industry.
So the challenges are, will big companies take up these disruptive ways of working, will the people that have been churning out fabrics of a certain ilk over the years be able to alter their practice? And obviously, it's still very conscious of price. But I think really the aspects of less is more, value added. The true cost of clothing is a major issue because the extraction of the petroleum for fibre, the processing of it, and the end of life are not totally costed into the price of textiles at the moment. So the true cost of clothing is a challenge that needs to be shared with consumers.
I think the biggest challenge is the consumers' awareness of sustainable fashion. This year, Rice Sustainable Fashion Lab and Impact Hub Shanghai have conducted a consumer survey on sustainable fashion consumption in China during the COVID-19. Among 2,200 respondents, 54% has no idea whether they have bought sustainable fashion products. What is sustainability? How do products achieve sustainable? Well, to get them, consumers have a lot of questions while they have quite limited knowledge and access to this information. It is really hard for them to take into consideration in sustainable consumption while they purchase of fashion products, including sportswear.
To make sportswear sustainable, we need to look not only at better materials, but to really make a 360 shift in our approach to design, production, distribution, and even our finance models. Traceability will also be absolutely critical. Right now, most of the conversation around sustainable sportswear is around materials, because quite frankly, the data shows that raw materials are one of the biggest contributors to total industry emissions. So it's a logical big impact place to start. If we look towards the future in this area, it's clear we need to move away from the petrochemical-based materials as much as possible, both from an emission standpoint and microplastic pollution. But unfortunately, alternatives are still quite limited or fail to match synthetics in regards to performance, cost, or aesthetic. And actually, perhaps it's unfair to compare these new biomaterials like for like to their predecessors, because they're fundamentally quite different. The key will be in finding the right balance between degradability, recyclability, and longevity.
那么对于未来运动服饰的可持续化，那么我想最大的一个挑战可以是2点。第一点呢，我想主要是来自于我们成本的这么一个挑战，其次就是什么？其次就是我们属于宣传推广的成本。那么在谈到这种所谓的成本的时候呢，那我想主要是我们要让我们的整个这个可持续的产品本身的成本，还有我们在推广和宣传过的成本，那么能够对我们整个社会产生不要过多的影响，能够使整个社会能够更广泛的从广度和深度去接受。第二个就是关于是宣传这方面的成本和宣传方面的力度。那么宣传主要从广度和深度来讲，那么如何能够让更多的中国的消费者，更多的中国的年轻人，中国的小朋友们能够从小就能够树立这么一个可持续的理念，能够在他们的日常生活当中，让我们的生活方式方面来作为我们生活当中不可缺少和理解的这么一个实施的一个指导的思想，成为我们生活的一个准则。我想未来我们的可持续运动的方向，未来这个领域的前途必将是非常非常光明的。
这里可谓分为商业的可持续化和产品的可循环持续2个概念，因为这里不仅仅指产品层面的可持续再生产，即使运用到了一些可持续再生产的产品，它的推广、它的市场，同样也是一个面临的非常大的一个挑战。之后，民众是否接受这样的观念？民众觉得这样的可持续再循环的产品，它的舒适度、体验感是否好，都将是运动服饰可持续化发展的面临的一个挑战。设计师需要向过去的经验学习，学习连接过去与未来的智慧。 理想中的未来也并不只有一种单一的再生可持续未来的，以提出一个好的愿景的设计原则是比较容易的，但是难的是它的可以有高质量的实现度。所以如果人的体验无法保证，那么一切的愿景原则就将无从谈起了。我主张更开放的可持续发展的概念，将这个可持续发展开放出来，允许多样性的自由度。我们要考虑的其实是人与自然的关系，运用好科技的可持续才是真正的有未来性的可持续。发展需要包容性，如何有机地将科技发展与自然再生融为一体，才是设计师首要考虑的原则。而且设计师最重要的思考设计的出发点还是公众是否乐意接受，所以那就放空大脑，用充满好奇心的强力来接收外界的信息，直觉的反馈给自己，从体验感知设计的流畅，让未来符合人性，让和谐创造生活。
According to the survey conducted by us, 97% potential consumers are willing to purchase of sustainable fashion products. I have observed in China, the way brands marketing to sustainability market is quite similar as marketing mainstream products. And I think it doesn't work well. Consumers have come to develop a strong relationship with sustainable companies and brands. They need a premium on trust, purpose, and value-led brands. They demand transparency, so brands will need to optimize the entire consumer engagement and journey by signaling responsibility and ethical behavior in their communications, adjusting the store experience, and catering to a great desire for transparency, purpose, and personalized interactions.
Younger generations are demanding more transparency and accountability from sportswear brands. Unfortunately, this demand has also spurred just as much greenwashing. Even if in many cases the intention is genuine, lack of clarity among both consumers and brands about the metrics behind sustainability claims can get very confusing. Also, alas, despite earnest calls for more sustainable products, consumers are still, by nature, very value-driven. And it is the wrong approach, in my opinion, for the industry to respond by assuming this means for sustainability to thrive, it needs to be just as cheap as the current offering. Instead, I feel the most successful efforts have been where brands have managed to imbue these products with added performance or design value that can justify a higher price point. Design and storytelling are often undervalued as tools in promoting sustainability initiatives. With the caveat, of course, that those initiatives also need to be backed up with concrete facts.
首先要让消费者能够轻松地辨别和找寻到可持续运动服饰，这需要服装商品牌在商店的陈列里面要有清晰的视觉引导和传播媒介的宣传。再者，可持续产品的体验感要人性化，那么它的市场就能够被扩大。现在的媒体探讨这样的可持续发展的话题已经越来越频繁了，之后产品层面的人性化和选择的丰富度也一定会得到更多的提升的，未来是可期的。
就目前看，那么就是中国的消费者应该说在可持续领域表现出了极大的关注与参与的热情。我们可以看到，我们在很多的场合，在很多的社会层面都能看到，我们的消费者呢开始减少了这种快时尚类的这种消费，那么涌现出了更多类似于共享服装那么共享这个衣物的这么一些网络的平台或者是 APP， 那么更多的消费者积极去使用这个平台，来使更多的服装发挥它其作用。特别是我们也可以看到，随着我们网络的这个社会，网络社会的不断的形成，网络平台的不断涌现，更多的新闻媒体或者叫新媒体也表现出对于可持续这一理念的极大的关注和热情。那么在很多的节目当中，在很多的这种活动当中，那么我们可以看得到，都在广泛的 对于可持续理念的这么一个积极的推广。那么特别难能可贵的是，作为中国的政府，那么也积极倡导我们无论从产业、从社会，还是我们每个人，都要将自己作为可持续发展社会当中的一份子，来推动中国的这种未来的可持续发展。正所谓讲，青山绿水才就是金山银山，只有更多的环境的变好，资源的充足，那我想社会的发展才会有更加的动力。那么只有更多的人参与到这么一个活动当中来，我相信未来的可持续发展必将是前途光明的。当然也需要我们共同的努力。谢谢大家。
The Olympics is a really good opportunity for a big brand such as Adidas in the past or Anta in China that can have the sort of mechanisms to push the message. If the Beijing Olympics could get that message across with the huge numbers of garments that are going to be involved and the different layers of garments within a sports layering system for the Olympics that can be generic to other sports, or the story can be adapted to other sports. And of course, as we know, sportswear is permeating the high street, has done since snowboard crossed over with fashion, and also it's permeating areas like corporate workwear. You see people in soft shell fleeces with the company logo wearing them for everyday workwear. And of course, the public as a whole, whether they're children or whether they're the active aging, are wearing sports type clothing. So I think this is a lovely time, a good opportunity to talk about the future of sportswear at a time when there are alternative solutions there if people understand that they've got to pay for them.
I am Karina Chen. I study fashion in University of the Arts London. I established a fashion brand after graduation. I would like to say it is perfect and wonderful. Fashion education in the UK is very different. Students are encouraged to pursue their own dream by learning the basic framework and methodologies. Tutors will always inspire you with new ideas and creativities. Study in the UK also gave me lots of opportunities to access to the world-leading fashion industry and gain working experience there. I feel so free when I was in university because I can draw pictures, do pattern cutting and collage, do anything I can do to release my emotion and ideas on each project. And the tutor won't restrict me but will push me to a better stage and lead me to enrich my specialized knowledge. I've gained professional knowledge and the ability to think independently, which gives me enough confidence to build my fashion dream and effectively solve problems as a leader in a company. I first needed to take the IELTS exam, where I got a 6.0. I think IELTS is quite useful. It's just like a key to unlock the opportunity for me to apply for my dream university. It also helped me easily and quickly integrate into my both study and life when I was first arrived in London.